Very warm greetings to all my dear students. I welcome you all in another chapter from Income and Employment. And today we are going to discuss excess and deficit demand. First, we in the previous chapter we understand the condition of equilibrium in the economy, but what if the economy is facing the condition of excess demand or deficit demand? How does the central bank or the government of the country reacts? In this chapter we will understand how RBI and government deals with the condition of excess and deficit demand. So there are few concepts that we should understand before proceeding to discuss the concept of excess and deficit demand or deficit demand. The first concept is full employment equilibrium. What do you mean by full employment equilibrium? It refers to that situation in the economy where aggregate demand equals to aggregate supply or saving equals to investment, along with the fuller utilization of resources. That is, when all the resources are completely and fully utilized, then the condition of AD equals to AS refers to full employment equilibrium. Under employment equilibrium, it refers to that situation in the economy when AD equals to AD, AS equals to AD or S equals to I, but without fuller utilization of resources. And this is the situation and this condition. Voluntary unemployment, it refers to the situation when jobs are available but people are not willing to do job at the prevailing wage rate. They themselves opted out of doing any kind of job, or they are not ready to work at the prevailing wage rate. In this, people are unemployed by their own wish, even jobs are there. For example, if jobs are available at rupees 15,000 per month salary, but people is not willing to do at the same rate, so this is voluntary unemployment. Involuntary unemployment, it refers to the situation when people are willing to work at any wage rate but jobs are not available. Problem of unemployment refers to the problem of involuntary unemployment. Now let us understand the concept of full employment and natural unemployment. It refers to that situation when all those who are willing to work at the existing wage rates are getting work. It is a situation when demand for labor equals to supply of labor and the labor market is cleared. Full employment doesn't mean zero unemployment. This is very important to understand, that full employment doesn't mean zero unemployment. There always exists some degree of unemployment called natural unemployment. So when we are referring the conditions of natural unemployment, this will give us the idea of a situation where the existence of some degree of unemployment is there. Frictional unemployment, it is associated with the changing of jobs in the dynamic economy, in changing economy. It arises due to immobility of labor, shortage of raw materials, lack of information, tendency of workers to move from one job to another. So this is frictional unemployment. Structural unemployment, it results from the long-term decline of certain industries, decline of manufacturing, labor immobility, robots replacing humans. So there is technical shift, technological shift, then there is some kind of unemployment, and this kind of unemployment refers to structural unemployment. Now let us understand what is the condition of excess demand. According to Keynes, it is a situation when AD, that is aggregate demand, is excess when it is more than aggregate supply corresponding to full employment in the economy. The condition is AD is more than AS corresponding to full employment condition. This is very important to remember. Excess demand means aggregate demand is more than aggregate supply corresponding to full employment condition. Now, what are the problems of excess demand? AD line shows full employment equilibrium. AD line shows full employment equilibrium. AD1 shows planned AD, which is higher than the full employment AD. The vertical difference between AD and AD dash, or EF shows excess demand. This shows excess demand. Okay, now what are the causes, what are the regions of excess demand? But before going to discuss these regions for excess demand, let us understand the another term, that is inflationary gap, that will come across, and it is related with excess demand. When excess demand refers to a situation where actual aggregate demand becomes higher than the amount of aggregate demand required, that is planned, at full employment level. Excess demand gives rise to inflationary gap, that is EF. EF is what? Inflationary gap. This EF refers to inflationary gap. Now let us understand what are the regions of excess demand. Increase in private consumption expenditure, increase in private investment expenditure, increase in government expenditure, rise in export, fall in import, and decrease in tax rates. So these are the important regions why there will be excess demand in the economy. Now, what are the consequences of excess demand? We were talking about inflationary gap. Now let us understand through the graph. Due to excess demand, inflationary gap arises in the economy. What is this? This is inflationary gap, this one. Inflationary gap is the gap between the planned demand, planned aggregate demand, and actual aggregate demand. So this is the equilibrium point, but due to excess demand, the new aggregate demand will be created, that is actual demand, aggregate demand is more than what it was planned earlier. So now the new demand curve will be created, and it will create a gap between actual aggregate demand and planned aggregate demand, and this gap is known as inflationary gap, and it is above the planned aggregate demand curve. Now second, static GDP. This is the consequence of excess demand, that is GDP will become static. Even when the level of GDP is higher than the full employment level, it remains static. Excess demand and wage price spiral. What is this? Owing to excess demand, there is a pressure on the existing resources and wages will increase. Rise in wages lead to rise in general price level. Rise in price lead to rise in wages. Rise in cost of living leads to rise in wages again. So it is a continuous effect. If there is excess demand, it will create a rise in the general price level. Why? Because the wages will increase at this point. So when the cost of factors of productions will increase, ultimately the effect of these increased cost of factors will affect the price of the commodity. Fourth, loss of profit. It is also the consequence of excess demand, that is loss of profit due to unfilled demand in the economy. The profit will be less. Okay, so earlier when inflation was less, the economy was having more profit. Gradually, due to rise in the prices, the producers cannot increase the prices so high that it cannot be purchased by the consumers. So there is a limitations. But what is the consequence of it? The profit will decrease due to rise in the inflation. Now let us understand the concept of deficient demand. Deficient demand refers to the situation where aggregate demand is less than aggregate supply, corresponding to full employment level in the economy. In other words, it refers to a situation when aggregate demand falls short of the aggregate demand required to full employment equilibrium level. Okay, so AD is less than AS, corresponding to full employment level. This is the conditions for deficient demand. Now let us understand the deficient demand, the concept of deficient demand. ADEF FE line shows the required level of aggregate demand for full employment in the economy. ADIU line shows the planned AD, which is lower than the full employment AD. The vertical difference between ADFE and ADIU or FE, that is EF or FE, is deficient demand. What are the causes of deficient demand? Due to reduction in private consumption expenditure, the people have less expenditure on their consumptions. Reduction in private investment expenditure, reduction in government expenditure, decline in export, rise in import, and increase in tax rates. So this is what the government is trying to increase their income by increasing the tax rate. At the same time, the current situation arises due to COVID-19 is referred to a situation of deficient demand, where the demand of a commodity in the market is less. The people are spending less on consumption goods because they wanted to invest it on necessary goods. So reduction in private investment expenditure, reduction in government expenditure, decline in export, rise in import, increase in tax rates. So what are the actions that government will take in this period, that we will understand after discussing these concepts. Consequence of deficient demand. What will be the consequence of deficient demand? Underemployment equilibrium. Planned output remain less than potential output due to deficiency of demand. Accordingly, unemployment arises. So this is one consequence of deficient demand. The unemployment arises. Deflationary gap will be created, that is low aggregate demand will give rise to low investment, and low investment give rise to low output, and low output gives rise to low income, and ultimately low aggregate demand. So this is a chain reaction that we will find whenever there is a condition of deficient demand in the economy. Third consequence of deficient demand is undesired stock. The stock which is kept or which is left unused because of decrease in the demand. Undesired stock. It is a situation, or in a situation of low aggregate demand, producers are not able to sell all that they have planned to sell in the market. Accordingly, undesired stock tends to rise up. So this is one of the consequence of deficient demand. Loss of profit. Because producers are not able to clear their stocks, and undesired stocks reduces the prices. So ultimately, when there is less demand, the prices of the commodity will reduce. So the new situation will arise, and that is deflationary gap, that is decrease in the prices of the commodity. That is all for today. Thank you and have a nice day.